Yeah.
Yeah, I'm back. My bad, bro. My phone died
Okay.
out.
Oh,
Yeah.
so did you hear what I said about minimalism? I can like make it really
Yeah,
short.
no, I heard. I heard it. I heard it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
One thing I want to say though is like, I guess when it comes towards that, you could sit there and say, when you only have those options, I mean, like you could sit there and say, oh yeah, one would be preferred over that. Like, I guess you could sit there and say like, a truth preservation thing would kind of like be a defeater towards that, towards like the one option which you would have within those like two options. But
Yeah.
when solely
If we're basing it on constructive evidence, then yeah, you're right.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But one thing I would have to clear though, that's like kind of like it depends on how you would sit there and say like, oh yeah, the truth preservation would be that because like say for example, obviously like if you were like an idealist real quick, right, you would accept the realities like mental bay, like obviously there would have to be like a space of course which is like entailed that the mind's like there to be held in, right? So like obviously when you accept like a physical stance within idealism you would sit there and say these are like mental properties because like time space yada 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 within the mental things, of course, like that's like Barrett Kelly's ontology thing or ontological theory about that. But when it comes towards that again, like the space exists outside of it, you could sit there and say there's like a type of conflation stance with the mental thing there, which would lead to a metaphysical contradiction, in my opinion. But again, that's like, of course, as you said, like
Oh yeah,
deconstructing.
that's just the elimination. That's fine though. That's the things that we reject though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the thing I was trying to like represent though. But I feel like because it's like again the only option there, I feel like when we're discussing these specific types of ideas, I guess it would be have to be more open towards like only one option versus things. So I mean, like again, like
You're
if you're
just
talking
saying
about
it's like pragmatic. Wait, are you saying that it's like pragmatic to have these certain options and all the like the all the possible things when we talked about disjunctions? Like, are you like kind of saying, okay, I think it would be better to go at this as in that we like subject it all to this realist and anti-realist stance instead of just this sort of type of things where we would include every view. So then it
well,
would be a true dichotomy in that aspect. But again, like I would again, again,
the
I
thing,
it's not that
the thing,
it's not the true it's not in that aspect. If that's what you're saying, that's not what
well,
I disagree with.
the thing I was gonna mention though is like I feel like since I've kind of limited down like the argument towards like a nomological thing, I feel like we would more so be like prone to talk about like the nomological motoscope. Like say for example, like you gave the example of being a nihilist, right? That specific
Mm-hmm.
state of right. I feel like if we were to discuss about a nomological motoscope and that question, like the question of that specific type of existence, I feel like again we would have to take like some other type of like existential thing. Like say for example, there could be objective like things which we would take to be nomological. There could be like idealist perspective. Mainly I feel like
Are you just saying that usually from the discussions that we have, it'd be better that we grasp something objective within the debate? It seems that we can actually have discourse about. Is that what you're saying?
well, I feel like since we've already kind of limited though, like to that, I feel like only the two options which we would have. So I mean, like if that like kind of answers that, I mean, like
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, and even if okay, I don't think those are like the type of things we should do in a debate. If you're saying that it's more pragmatic, I also don't say that to be the considerations of why we're obligated, especially from the disjunction. Okay, like for example, um, the reason why we remove the disjunction elimination is not because of the options that are possible. It's more of that there's a lack of constructive evidence in both cases. And then from that, we could hold to say that we don't wouldn't find any of those because it seems to be like it's more of saying okay, we don't agree with the principle of explosion because you can't prove it to be like a tautology in that aspect as in that it's true in all cases. Um, and then from that, we kind of like say, okay, if it is the case that we take a minimalist aspect, or at least a minimalist approach on this, then if there's a lack of constructive evidence, we wouldn't adhere to the position, even if there's grounds. Like think of it like there's two buildings. To say that one building doesn't exist doesn't affirm the other. So like these buildings seem to have a lack of constructive evidence, and the buildings and the constructive evidence is the building itself. So there's a lack of a building there. When you say there's a lack of a building for the other
yeah, you
side,
would
let's
say
just say the anti-realist perspective. You're saying that okay, this is the type of things that we would like if we adhere to saying this building doesn't exist, then we'd adhere to saying the other building exists. But like in cases of the constructive evidence that we hold to, or constructive things, or oh my god, sorry, the constructive evidence that we adhere to, then we wouldn't say, okay, now we'd adhere to the process of elimination. We find it that they're both lack of constructive evidence. And from that being the case as our justification, then we wouldn't adhere to both. That's only the reason, not because there's some sort of like eliminations of like processific concepts.
Yeah, but like again, like when you look at that analogy, like it's still like within that realm. There's like another option which is like better. I feel like
I
say
mean,
for
okay,
example,
there can always be another option. The options are not the problem here. It's more of saying, okay, from the
yeah,
verifications or
I
like
get
if
the
we have a verification account that is dependent upon constructive evidence, then no matter the options, it seems like if there's a lack of constructive evidence, then we can't adhere to anything.
yeah, I get what that's saying. It's like
Oh, okay,
they
okay, okay.
the lack of that. What I'm trying to sit there and say is again like because of the constructive evidence which we would have against the two buildings, I would say, oh, yeah, another option would be more case. Like, I get that within the analogy, the lack of constructive evidence is like the problem there. Like, I get that. It's like pretty basic to say. And again, like the lack of that would, of course, like adhere towards like specific things like the minimalist thing. But when it comes like towards when types of existence, like let's just say for example, because like the definition I gave was very broad, I should say, broad. Um, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I might have butchered it. But when it comes towards the type of existences and the way I defined, oh yeah, because oh yeah, there's existential things. I didn't give like a type of existence. Maybe like that was my type of problem, I guess. But like because like that's the reason why I mentioned, oh yeah, if I can adhere to like objective, like specific type of nomological existence, like if I hold towards like idealistic things, like I could also take like a natural dualist stance as well. Like say for example, I can accept like physical facts, I could accept not corporeal facts like the consciousness part. Again, like deeming from that. I mean, like definitely, like I would say I actually adhere towards like a natural dualist stance.
Okay. I'm just asking for the constructive evidence. If you're just saying that you adhere some sort of things that are objective or objective facts that you adhere to and you grasp from that, and then that's how you use the view to at least give the constructive evidence in that aspect, that's completely fine. You could like do that. If that's what you're mentioning upon, like the objective facts or the objective truth. I don't see. I mean, like when you say something is true, like I mean, maybe I'm just confusing your truth theory. Are you like a correspondence like theorist, or you're a neo version
Uh,
of that, or
no, I'm not a correspondence theorist. I would say I'm much more like a wouldn't say coherence. I mean like
yeah, coherence theory? Like you would find that if views align each other, that's like the justification will be find to be true.
no, I wouldn't say like a like
Or oh my
epistemological.
god, sorry, no, I said a belief. Sorry, I said a beliefs.
No, yeah, you're fine. You're fine. I said I wouldn't really see coherence theories that. Um, I would say I would take like say for example because like I should clarify some within the stance I'm taking itself because like that could be very much more useful to like narrow down like theory truth. Specifically because I don't accept like fully completely like classical like naturalism. Definitely I would have like some type of again like counterfactual stance, but still accept some. So I would say, oh yeah, there's like some use for that. So again, like I would accept like some type of pragmatist form of that, if that
Okay,
even makes sense or is in alignment with
like
that.
you kind of take like a pluralist where you take it like to both accounts.
Both accounts as in like, well,
Like,
let's see.
it depends on the scenario.
Well, I
Is
would
that what
say,
you take it to the pluralist account?
yeah, that would actually be kind of like more fitting when it comes to like the plus. Like the thing in question would be like my specific thing, but again, I'm cutting off like classical naturalism. I'm accepting some natural facts, which would only refer to that specific scenario of natural facts or just natural things, which we would accept. So I mean, like you could say that is like a pluralist thing.
Okay. Um, if you're just okay, if you're taking the pluralist account on that aspect, when you have the constructive evidence for your thesis, what account do you take in that aspect? Do you take a correspondence theory in that, or pragmatist, or like I think you're leaning to a pragmatist case specifically for
Yeah,
this
yeah,
debate.
pragmatist because like
Okay,
I did mention it would be like very instrumentalist and of course like obviously
yeah,
instrumental
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
of pragmatist.
yeah, okay. Um, but I mean, listen, I mean, I don't think those are the type of things where we find to be constructive evidence. Especially if we find things to be useful, or at least what works, what's useful, what's like the best theory in that aspect. I don't think those are the things that we type indicate to be true, or at least
Well,
that we. It's not some sort of sense of that. Or when I say true, I'm just talking about the constructive evidence. And for my truth theory, by the way, just before you ask, I'm not really leaning to anything. I might be a deflationist, if anything, but I'm not really adhering to like a truth theory yet. So I wouldn't really know the answer for that for you. But um, all I'm just questioning is fine. Okay, if we take the minimalist stance, if we take the destruction and elimination, because no matter what, there seems to be a lack of constructive evidence, and from that we cannot take a process of saying, okay, we'd eliminate this, and therefore we'd find this to be the case of disjunction to be true. Those are the type of things we wouldn't take it to be the case. So unless you change the argument by saying it's not a disjunction, it seems to be constructive evidence of why we take it to be the case, then that'd be fine evidence to be taken. It's just the problem of the disjunction elimination, not the introduction. Is your phone dead or something? Bro, don't tell me my internet's out.
And bro, what the hell happened?
I don't know. I thought my internet went out. He probably his phone died. Um, yeah, dude, bro, I low key really want to lock into this freaking Roblox. Bro, who plays simply Roblox? Yo, rebound. You play like Roblox basketball games?
Yeah,
You ever play simply basketball?
hell no. What the hell is that?
That shit. Okay, like it's like Phenom,
Nope.
bro. It's a basketball game. But like, bro, it's simple. Like, okay, like the shooting shit is dependent upon your stats. Like, you don't have to aim or anything. It's purely like it shoots for you. The thing is that the main thing that is like interesting about it is like the dribbling aspect.
He said, what was the name?
It's called simple basketball.
Oh, wait.
Oh, they say in chat. Oh shit, bro. This guy needs to like his phone needs to stop dying, bro. This kid, crazy.
Only 13 people?
Yeah, bro. This shit niche now. This shit used to be popping back then, bro. Nah, I sound like an old man. I'm gonna stop saying that. What the fuck? Used to be
Nigga, it
popping
is an
back
old
then.
man, bro.
Yo,
Let me
no, I'm
be.
not. I'm 17.
Nigga's damn near 50, bro.
Yo, go to my park because there's like literally no one. Bro, I need someone to 1v1, bro. It's like super simple how to dribble and shoot. Because shooting is just a button, and then dribbling, like, bro, there's just buttons, bro. Like, you don't got to do freaking combos.
Yo, this shit is ass. It's looking ass, bro.
I'm gonna say looking at him, bro. What are you talking about? This shit cold. Or you just
Bro,
haven't played the 1v1, bro. Like,
are you big plot life or something?
my bad. Can y'all hear me?
yeah. My username is basic no, bro. What the hell are you talking about? Oh, your rebound, you're right there.
Yo. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. That's good. Just give me a minute here.
You want to do this another time, bro?
No. I would actually prefer to finish it up because like we're probably close
Okay,
to.
yeah, we could fit it. Yeah, we could just wrap this up. We could just say like, if you think that you explained why you should take the disjunction, then that's fine. Like, I think that's the main contender here. If we should take the disjunction elimination.
I feel
Um,
like when it comes towards like a deflationist sense, because you said that's your theory of truth for that.
I said okay, no, okay, but by the way, maybe if you cut out beforehand, but I said that I might adhere to a deflationist account, but as of right now, I actually don't like commit myself to anything yet because I don't know my theory. Like, I don't fully know
Oh, okay.
deflationism where I would take that account. Yeah.
Well, I would just sit there and say like if we were to like let's just say again like when considering all these theories and we're again like virtual analysis, I would say in the attempt to find some type of theory of like existence, again we question existence. I would just sit there and say like for like a final basis, I would just sit there and say you still like need the existence in the first place, and we'll just sit there and say, like, again, that'd be the nature of our reality. Like, I'm pretty sure I like repeated this over the time, but that's just like my final point about that. I would just sit there and say, even if you want to take like a minimalist thing, and again, like the most minimal thing, and it's like proper working, like you could just sit there and say, oh yeah, because it's like less this and that, yada yada yada. Again, like basic things of it. You would sit there and say it's more favorable because again, it doesn't necessarily have truth conditions, but again, I would sit there and say our existence is more so a truthful thing again because like you would still need to have these to process these yada 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 like rationale like still just need it in general because like if you didn't exist like then there's like no optional way to question this like or have any type of metaphysical view. So I believe like consciousness is just like I could actually say consciousness can be like a state of existence as well because I'm pretty sure yeah. But yeah, that's
Okay.
just my thing. So I'm just saying that oh yeah, that's my that's just gonna be like the necessary
Yeah,
condition.
I'll just explain my view. Are you taking this to be conclusions? Because it sounds like something we're wrapping up. But yeah, I mean,
Well, yeah,
my
that's
position. Oh, say that again.
yeah. I was saying, oh yeah, I think I would kind of take this to be like a conclusion type based thing, like because
Yeah,
this was
yeah, okay, yeah,
because like I just want to explain something else because like I feel like this was like a main part of my argument in the first place, and yeah, like it was just the whole point. Like there was like a lot of linguistical like confusion and everything, like until we got to like the main point of like what we were talking about, yada yada, and like now I guess like but yeah, this was a pretty good debate in my opinion.
yeah. Yeah. So the conclusion. What I'm more saying that is that from minimalist take, we wouldn't take the disjunction. We wouldn't take it to be truth that, or at least we wouldn't take it to be that. From the elimination, we take those to be the truth conditions. Now, um, what's more the aspect of his saying, okay, he takes like more of a pragmatist view, where he says, okay, from the pragmatist view, we'd find that usually like we'd like assume these certain things to even have these views. For example, you would assume that there's some sort of existence to have some sort of talk about the existence, which is completely fine. And it's more of saying, okay, usually when we have views or at least theories, what we find to be the theories that are at least constituting or the theories that we should take are not the things that we take from elimination. Especially from eliminating other theories don't seem to be the type of things where we find to be other theories to be at least um, more close to truth, or maybe that there seems to be a closer resolved theory or anything like that. Um, the problem is that when he says, okay, he takes more of a pragmatist case where he says, okay, um, he finds it to be that there seems to be that we find something at least I don't want to say more probable if that was kind of say, but like more probable to the case that we adhere to that one at least if it's more coherent, and best explains the best scenarios and all that such. More that if I were taking a minimalist account, I would say that we actually don't have a theory that best explains um, the best scenarios upon our like existence and all that such. It's more that we wouldn't take an account of the theory. More not that we should take into account what's the best explanations from our limited status or our limited access of theories. We would take to account that we only take theories of the fact that they actually do explain the scenarios and not what are best explained from the elimination or at least the access to the little domain that we have. That was kind of the main point I was trying to go at, chat. Um, but I do think this was actually a really good debate, compared to all my other meta debates. It was pretty, he's actually like competent, but yeah, we can end it there.
Appreciate the compliment and honestly, just a little extra commentary for the recording. I believe that this was a pretty good debate, pretty good faith, and like again, like the usage in this, I really enjoyed the conversation and like yeah, appreciate the compliments
But,
from
but
prophecy.
since you actually do modality, I'm actually starting to think that either an error in modality because I'm like obviously, I'm actually like again, I'm actually like oh my god, a non-classical logician, but I might
That
take either a not. I'm actually a non-classical logician, yeah.
if you want me to be honest though, like I think I would actually find some type of like because like how do I say this? I mean like when you said in your conclusion, you said that the most like best plausible theory, I guess. I don't know if I was paying attention
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
but
plausible. Yeah, the best explanation upon the little domain that we have of theories. Yeah.
I think just sitting there saying, specifically, oh yeah, it's so necessary for us to exist to even consider this and that. I feel like when questioning that existence, I feel like when considering plausible, you still have to find out what that existence is, which is like the reason why I like was talking about after you gave like the building example with that specific like minimalist account. I was talking about, oh yeah, I think considering which we already limited like some specific options, like say for example your modal options, your modal scopes and everything, because we've already like countered these out and everything. I feel like again, since we're talking about existence, we'd have to talk about which type of existence, because again, we already said that possible would have to be committing towards ontological, commitment. And again, with committing towards ontological commitment, you would still have to take that something does exist, right? So I feel like possible existence, you'll talk about what type of existence that is, and that's where modal scopes come into play. And like, yeah, you could sit there and say, oh yeah, I'm a not classical logician, which would put these modal scopes into question. But the thing is that like I only find our reality to be non-logical, so I would deny other modal scopes as well. This is the reason why I was specifically targeting, oh yeah, this is purely non-logical. Our reality is non-logical. Like, you could sit there and say, oh yeah, that's a modal scope, but I only accept one type of modal scope, which may be retarded to sit there and say. Well, not necessarily, I wouldn't say, because it's like, it's
I
pretty
don't. I
just,
don't find it to be retarded. You can keep going now.
yeah. But like, again, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm against like most like specific concepts people would often use when it comes to modal realism or like
Yeah.
possibilities. Like I only accept non-logical things, which is the reason why I like made an argument against modal realism in the beginning, because like I feel like we didn't touch upon that modal argument too much. We didn't touch upon the modality subject. We just kind of talked about what existence or like theories of truth and then the process of elimination, and then we went over towards like the epistemology of existence. We touched upon like the epistemology of existence for like a short while compared to the other points we had, like where we were
Yeah.
talking about minutes and everything. But I feel like this debate should have been more so upon like specifically like the moral argument, because like that was supposed to be like a condition for like proving the existence of God, but this kind of turned into like a how do I say this,
Yeah.
like a
No. Yeah. No. Yeah.
it turned into like a logical.
It's more that the conditions of like argument. Okay, like there's these type of like schemas that we have, and usually when we debate, we want to align those schemas with our interlocutor. Especially when like again like when your argument consists of sort of disjunction, like these certain things or inferences that I don't abide to because I'm a non-classical logician. It's kind of hard to extrapolate that or at least concede to that. Especially when those are the type of things that I reject. Now, I get the whole point of like, oh yeah, we shouldn't like talk about that and all that. Like, but it's more of like playing this game of like, okay, um, when what my interlocutor wants to do is to at least convince me, or at least with the logic that they have, there seems to be some sort of persuasiveness that they want to at least concede to me. And then from that, like, or like at least persuading me, I think the best thing to do is like at least to connect with my interlocutor about like those certain things. Because like, I mean, obviously I could have been a classical logician in that aspect, but I don't. I think there's many problems to classical logic that there's a lot of things that we usually don't affirm to. And I get that point, and I get why you would say, okay, we kind of went into a relevant meta debate on like the argumentation. It's like the argumentation, semantics, and syntax, and all things that seem to be irrelevant from the context of the argument, which is fine. And about the whole logic thing, it's more that it's more of kind of saying, okay, usually when we adhere to like all these different theories, especially for existence, right? Um, it's more of a questioning. Okay, if we don't have like an actual good explanation upon existence, even if existence is actually a thing that we should adhere to, but if those are the type of things that we should adhere to, then there seems to be a problem when we take this dogmatic like a dog. I don't know. Is it dogmastic? It's not dogmastic. It's dogmatic view where we just take things to be self evident. I don't believe that. So that's why I was kind of like questioning those certain like little things.
Yeah, no, that's completely fine. Like I understand that. Also, like another thing to
Okay.
comment on your style a bit for debating, like connect with the interlocutor to like make it concede. I think like the reason why we didn't mix at the beginning is because we had a very different style of debating. Because like most debaters I encounter, like I've debated Apollo, I've debated like people like that. Um, most of the debaters who I have faced aren't really looking for them, like people to make them concede. They're looking for substance and like substantial debates, like, oh yeah, who has better substance, yada yada yada. Like I feel like I'm someone who looks more so for like, oh yeah, who has the better substance than like an outright concession or like something like that. That's the reason why I feel like we didn't connect at first, but like when we got more into the meta debate, I feel like that was a pretty good debate.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't like again. I'm like this is just how I think about it. This is nothing like anything like oh, this is so philosophical what he says, bro. Like to be honest, I'm a kid, bro. Like, dude, I just debate for fun, bro. I don't really like the substance thing is like interesting. Knowledge is really interesting, but like mostly at the time of debate, I kind of just play this like crazy skeptic because like why not? Like I'm a kid, you know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, I get.
I'm taking advantage of like the game, bro. Make this game fun because like if it were just purely substance, then you're just playing some sort of knowledge gap game, and like that just doesn't seem fun to me. But that's just my
It kind
opinion.
of drains out the point of it being in a hobby. Like it's like I kind of find it to be a hobby, but yeah, like I think we can end the
No, I
recording.
find it to be a hobby only because if it's fun for me. I mean, like yeah, it's like that whole thing. Like if I play basketball because I like winning, or I play basketball because I like dribbling and beating the shot of each other, like I mean, we still lead to the same conclusion of us trying to like at least gain knowledge, but it's just different like reasons.
We're all still debating or what?
No, it's already been
Okay,
over.
We're
We're
just
just talking.
yeah, we're just like talking. But
The
yeah,
debate went on.
Didn't you debate? Didn't you debate, Flo?
who me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean like I think I won that, but like, I'm not gonna meta debate on that. I just like had like
No,
kind of
I'm not gonna meta debate.
Nope.
I'm just telling you that
Nobody.
that's the.
Wait,
Okay, but
who won?
It's like,
Prophecy
I,
or
I was
Sable?
I was just gonna tell you like me and Flo's like style is kind of similar in that aspect. That we play this little position, we play like soft, or like we play this like crazy skeptic.
Because you
And
oh
how-
yeah, I can definitely see that. I can definitely see that.
yeah.
All right, guys, we should all just hop on